I just came across a very interesting story about a person who went through something like this. Unbelievable. He said it was a Tzvi Hirsch Meislish. It was a Rav before the war in Galicia. And he had a pair of tzitzis from his ancestor, the Yitav Lev of Seagate. He had a talis that he had with him. He was the one from the grandchildren who had it. And he took it with him to Auschwitz. And in Auschwitz, he knew there's no way for him to wear it. He can't wear it and he can't hide it. So with a terrible feeling, he altered it from a talis gadol to a talis kata, and at least he felt he'll wear it under his pajamas. And he cut the talis gadol, and he wore it under. Now he knew there's a good chance that somebody's going to see that he's wearing a second layer, because the first layer, the striped pajamas, are so thin. But he had to do it. So he's walking around with it, and Baruch Hashem, he's feeling this is his protection. One day he goes to take a shower, and there's a capo sitting outside the door. And the capo's job is to look at every person who comes out of the shower to see if they're wearing one clothing or wearing another beged. Did they take something that's not theirs? And as the guy's waiting outside and Reb Tzvi Hirsch passes him, he looks and he sees that Reb Tzvi Hirsch is wearing another layer. And he pulls him to the side and he checks and he sees, he's wearing something underneath. And he starts beating him up and hitting him and slapping. How could you, what, it's not enough. What we give you is not enough. You have to have another article of clothing. And he's making him bleed. And Reb Tzvi Hirsch, all he cares about is that the tzitzit should be left alone. And that's what he cares about. He doesn't care if the guy's beating him. He doesn't care if he's bleeding. He doesn't care about anything. And Baruch Hashem, when he got back to the barrack and he checked, the tzitzis was still kosher. And he was very happy. He didn't care. The guy could have killed him. All he cared about was the fact that the tzitzis was still intact. Anyways, when it was time to leave, the Nazis sent him out of Auschwitz, and they were lining up to leave Auschwitz, and there was 2 rows, and at the end of the 2 rows, there was another capo sitting. I'm telling you, these capos, a lot of times they're Jewish people, and they're watching, and they're to make sure nobody's smuggling anything out of the camp. And again, somebody sees that he has a beged, he has the tzitzis under his clothing. And this time, he rips it out from under him, and he looks at it, and he says, what is this disgusting thing? And he's like, it's brown. You can imagine what it was like, years at Auschwitz. You can imagine what the pair of tzitzis looked like. And he ripped it up. And Reb Tzvi Hirsch is like, no, don't do this. And he rips it up and he throws it into the fire. He burns it. And Reb Tzvi Hirsch was heartbroken. You can imagine all these years he has the talis, the tzitzis of his grandfather, of the Yitav Lev of Seagate, and now it's gone. His protection is gone. And they get on the train, and this capo also gets on the train, and he's sitting on the side. His job is to watch everybody. And as he's sitting on the train, Reb Tzvi Hirsch, he nods off to sleep, and his head rests on his son's shoulder. And as the hours pass, the son starts feeling a pain in his shoulder from where his father's head is lying. And he said to his father, I'm sorry, do you mind moving, maybe leaning your head on the other side, please? Which is a very funny thing for the son to say. Like, why would he say that to his father? It doesn't make sense. But that's what he asked. He asked his father to say that, to move his head. Now, mamish minutes, like very shortly after he moved his head, he was shocked that his son asked him, but he moved his head. A bomb comes flying out from on top of the train, goes right between father and son, and the shrapnel of the bomb ricochets off the wall, and it cuts the capo's hands. It cuts them off, like blood is gushing out of the capo's hands. And the capo died afterwards. That's what happened. The tzitzis were a protection for Reb Tzvi Hirsch, and the person who cut the tzitzis and destroyed them was punished and didn't live out the trip. And Reb Tzvi Hirsch went on to Chicago, and he became the Rav in Chicago in the Shul, Sheretz Yisrael. And I'm sure for the rest of his life, he told this story over many, many times about what the tzitzis that he took with him through Auschwitz protected him, and that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took revenge on the person that had the chutzpah to destroy the tzitzis.